What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Niners News here on 49ers Hive. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Llewellyn. And with the draft right around the corner, this week we're going to have a special sequence of episodes for you guys. We are going to be ranking our top 5 rookie quarterbacks, which each episode being one quarterback. So we'll start with number 5. Matt, who is your 5th ranked incoming rookie quarterback?
Well, if we were going based off of who I think the 49ers like the most, this guy would be number 1 or number 2. But for the purpose of these videos, we're going in terms of talent overall, and I think that he's 5th, and that is Mac Jones out of Alabama. He's a guy that everybody is linking to Kyle Shanahan, and for good reason. He looks like a guy that could run his offense. He is an accurate quarterback. Not necessarily the biggest arm, but he makes the big time throws when they're there. You're looking at a guy that with Alabama won a national championship, was right there with the Heisman Trophy. He is a guy that is the one guy that I think is going to be overdrafted in terms of where he goes. We talk about it on Twitter and people are like, okay, Mac Jones, but like you trade back to get him, right? And I'm like, well, like Todd McShay had a mock draft today where he said that Mac Jones would go, 49ers would trade up to 9 to get Mac Jones. And to me, that's super rich for Mac Jones. I think that's too much. You're giving up a bunch of prospects to get up to number 9 to get Mac Jones. I don't know that it's necessarily worth it. If they stood pat at 12, I think that's a reach, but at least you're not giving up extra picks. But if the 49ers don't take him at 12, Washington football team is either going to take him at 13 or New England will take him at 15. So it's not a situation where the 49ers can dilly-dally, trade back, try to game the system because these quarterbacks are in high demand. This is going to be the best quarterback draft that we've had in a while. And Mac Jones is definitely a guy. So for me, the strengths are he has good ball placement. He has good command of an offense. He's a team leader. Accurate with the football, those type of things. Weaknesses, how much is Mac Jones an actual talent versus the teammates that he played with? I mean, you're talking about Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith with Najee Harris in the backfield. Alabama is a who's who of NFL draft prospects. I mean, it wouldn't be shocking to me to see that they had like 12, 13 guys drafted this year. Just like every other year, Alabama is a perennial powerhouse. So how much of it is Mac Jones talent versus how much of it is, what he had? He did a good job with what he was asked to do. So you want to see, a lot of guys are open in college, and I think that Mac Jones was able to hit those open guys. Can he throw into tight windows? I don't know. Arm strength, while not necessarily a weakness, is certainly not a strength. I think he has an average to above average NFL arm. He's got a better arm than Kyle Trask from Florida has. He can put some zip on the throws if you ask him to, but he's not necessarily going to blow the doors off of anybody with his velocity. I feel like he can make most of the NFL throws, if not all the NFL throws. But again, there is some concern about what level of his talent is him versus what's Alabama. People are talking about Tua, and Tua didn't have this knock against him. It is against Mac Jones, but when you look at Tua, the Dolphins might already be done with him. So, I don't really trust Alabama quarterbacks. I'll just put that out there. And after he won the national championship, I definitely don't trust that dad bod that he has. I think he definitely needs to get to a weight room. The NFL is going to hand him a playbook, a weight room, and a ham sandwich to kind of grow off of. Here's the thing, though. If he can get on a really good NFL strength program and build his body up, I actually do think his arm strength will improve because it doesn't look like he works out at all right now. If he actually got on a real strength and conditioning program, I do think that he would be someone who, could really elevate themselves. So in my book, looking at him, I project him as an early second round talent. Unfortunately, the needs of the position are going to have him move up to a first round talent. And my pro comp for him is Andy Dalton. I think that he can be a solid NFL starter, but he's never going to be the guy that, is a top 10 guy. I had an interaction on Twitter where somebody was like, why would you draft him when you have Jimmy Garoppolo? I don't see what Mac Jones does that Jimmy Garoppolo can't do. And my answer to that was he can stay healthy. So, with all things being said, he's cheaper, he's healthier, but the skill set is pretty similar. So for me, I think that Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers like this kid right up there as one of their top guys, especially because he seems like he might be attainable. But from a talent standpoint, he's solidly at number 5 for me.
Wow. Okay. I like it. Great breakdown. My number 5, though, I think you're not going to be thrilled with. My number 5 is Kyle Trask. I would put him a little bit above Mac Jones.
You're crazy. You're crazy. But
I
go
know.
ahead.
I hear you. I've seen both of them. I guess it just comes down to, like you said, how much of it is Mac Jones, how much of it is his surrounding supporting cast. He's a fantastic team, and it's hard to. I know you can't really knock a guy for the circumstances or the hand he's dealt, but I think I liked a little bit more what I saw out of Kyle Trask. Seems to be a pretty decisive thrower, able to get the ball into where area that a receiver can go out and make a play for it. Pocket passer. I think he fits, more so into a West Coast style offense that the 49ers run. Quick based rhythm throws with every other pass, or not every other pass, every now and then a deep shot, kind of taking a shot at the defense, making sure that they don't press as much. I think that kind of fits his play pretty well. I know there was the one game, if I remember correctly, I think it was Oklahoma, where he had the 3 first half picks. Obviously, that's not fantastic, but for the most part, he got better. I'm looking at his stats here, 2018. Obviously, he didn't play much, but then 2019, when he started playing, 69.9 overall grade, 66.8 completion percentage, and then 2020, 92.2 overall grade, 68.7 completion percentage. So look, he's gotten a lot better each year, and that's what you want to see from kind of a guy that you want to develop. I don't think he's going to come in day one by any means and blow the starting position away if the 49ers were to take him and have him compete with Jimmy Garoppolo. But he's the guy that eventually you could hope to kind of groom to take over the reins, maybe even within a year or two. I could see that from Kyle Trask. He's a pretty strong pocket passer, I think that he's able to run kind of a pro-style offense. And I think that he's also, pretty capable of taking a beating. I've seen from the games that I watched, he was willing to stand in the pocket knowing he was about to get drilled and still make the throws, or at least attempt to. So I think that he is the 5th ranked quarterback for me. And like I said, I would have him just above Mac Jones. But I think Trask ultimately would have the most success in his career. And you could say this about any quarterback for sure, but I think the kind of path to success for him is coming in, having the chance to sit and learn under a veteran quarterback. I mean, maybe if he falls, maybe even a team like Pittsburgh, if they're not sold on, and why would they be sold on, but Mason Rudolph, maybe they're willing to take him, let him kind of sit behind Big Ben, get a feel for that offense. But as far as the 49ers, if they were to land Kyle Trask, obviously I wouldn't want them to do it at 12 overall. But if that's the quarterback they feel comfortable, hey, I think he would have a solid shot here with the 49ers under Kyle Shanahan, sitting for a little bit behind Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe a year, depending on how healthy Jimmy is, obviously. But I think he's a solid prospect. And my comp for him would be Nick Foles when Nick Foles came out in 2012, I believe.
Okay. So the one thing that I again, for me, Kyle Trask, everybody knows how I feel about Noodle Nick and that weak arm. And that's the same concern that I have with Kyle Trask. His arm to me is just not good. I mean, I see a lot of fluttering balls. I see him hanging passes over that definitely will work in the SEC because, it's college and that works. And when you got a guy over the middle like Kyle Pitts that can just bail you out, I think that works. But for somebody who's 6'5", 240, I expected more zip on the ball, and I just don't see it. He's a big dude, but big dude with a little arm, I don't know if that translates very well. That's my main concern is that, okay, he's in a pro style offense, but he sat behind De'Aaron King in high school, who's now the quarterback for the Houston Cougars. And, for me, it's a situation of you didn't start in high school. You couldn't start in college until, you got to a certain point where guys left. We have a season and a half of game tape on you. I don't know, how that goes. But, I mean, that's my criticism. But what makes you place Mac Jones below Kyle Trask? What do you see in Mac Jones that you don't like?
It's not so much that I don't like Mac Jones. I just feel like it's tough to really get an honest grade on him and an honest perspective of what he did was mainly because of him and how much of it was his supporting cast. I'm not sure if you put him on a team, even like Florida, does he still have similar success? Is it different? Is it lower? I guess that's really kind of how I graded that, is who did the most with what they had. I think Mac Jones could have done more. I know he had a pretty monster year, so it's kind of hard to say. But I think that's pretty much why I put him under, and that might be a dumb reason. But in my head, that's kind of what I was thinking, is Kyle Trask. I think I liked a little bit more, and I totally hear you. His arm isn't the strongest arm in this draft class by any means. And I know that, Mac Jones, I believe he had a 11.1 yards per average, if I'm reading the stat line here correctly. So that was pretty good. And that's kind of the biggest difference in the two that I was able to see. But I think that's why I would say I put Mac underneath Kyle Trask.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. I'm not going to quibble too hard over the number 5 guy, because obviously if you're picking the 5th guy, I don't know that you're doing the best that you can in that regard. Right. So I'm not going to quibble too hard, but it looks like I got Mac Jones 5 and you got Kyle Trask 5. It'll be interesting to see what we got going forward.
Yeah. But I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. If you like what you see, do us a solid. Hit that subscribe button below. Help us reach our goal of 2,000 subscribers so we can give away some jerseys. Also, like this video, comment below. Who was your 5th ranked incoming quarterback of this year's draft class?
Go ahead and click the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. We're bringing you content Monday through Friday, live shows whenever we can. We love you as always. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, go Niners.